Welcome to In the Know with Steph and Joe. In the Know with Steph and Joe is all about small business development. These two entrepreneurs bring real life experience, laughter, and, well, just a ton of knowledge on how to build your small business and make it thrive. This is your creation, after all. Now, learn how to make it sing. Of course, we've got to give a shout out to our good friends at Epic Media Inc., because when you are truly authentic, there can be no competitors. Whether you need a custom website designed or help integrating social media accounts to your business marketing program, Epic Media Inc. is the company you want to rely on for your business. Check them out at www.epicmediainc.com. And today we're going to do a little chatting about, let's talk some referrals and referral stories and all that kind of good stuff and why you don't want to or do want to. Hey guys, welcome back.
What?
Hey.
Well, I guess we were all gone last week with the holidays. So
play the best of.
Happy 4th, y'all.
Yeah, happy 4th.
Morning from Singapore.
Hey, Gary.
Hey, good morning, Gary. Did you have a good 4th?
Yeah, I was able to go out to the East Coast of the United States and visit my son. So we spent a quick weekend out on the East Coast, visiting the son.
That's awesome.
And his girlfriend.
Yeah, my parents came in town and invited 30 of their close friends to my house to host a barbecue.
Very nice of them. Wow.
And
thanks, Mom.
But yeah, it was a good time, and did some relaxing with the kids. And what about you?
That's awesome. I made a random trip to Beaver Island and took my youngest daughter, just her and I, and we spent some time up there. But we were going to come home on Tuesday and got fogged in. And so we couldn't get off the island. And we maybe could have. I just didn't want to do that route.
You don't want to risk it.
Didn't want to Kobe Bryant.
I didn't want to take the boat is more what it was. It's a 2.5-hour ferry ride. And I'm like, nah, been there, done that.
And you certainly didn't want to Kobe Bryant that thing.
No, that's actually exactly
right.
Well, not that way, but so
it's too soon.
Just rough of it. Because there's actually people that fly on and off the island, but so wanted to wait for a flight, and the next flight was the next day, so we stayed an extra day.
There you go.
Her and I, and we had a blast. But yeah, no, 4th of July was awesome.
And Gary says, "Hey, just got back from a punk rock gig. It's 4 a.m. on Saturday there."
Well, dang. Okay.
Wow, man. And there's Derek.
There's
Happy
D-Hart.
Friday, Derek. So let's talk referrals. Let's actually start it off with this. We have a business, you and I, right? We each have a business, and I like to say to it as
hi, Liz.
We stick to our own lane, right? You're a bookkeeper, right? You're not gonna go and be an insurance person. You're not gonna go and do certain things that are going to be outside of your lane. Right? You may expand your lane a bit, right? Maybe absorb a little accounting, but you're really going to stick to your lane of bookkeeping because that's what you know, right? Same with us. We do restoration. We don't rebuild houses. We're not a general contractor, so we're not going to do our rebuild. So we stick to our lane. And in saying that, I'm going to say, when we go and do a job, we get a job, we go and rip everything out as us. We rip everything out, we clean it, we dry it, and then we walk away and go, here you go, good luck. But we don't really say that. We go, here's the people, and we refer them out, right? People that can do the rebuild, people that can do the stuff that we're not wanting to do. We want to stick in our lane, be the clean it, dry it, get it ready for rebuild. You want to bookkeep, you want to keep you want to keep in your lane and expand your lane slightly, however you want to do so. We will do that as well. Like we want to get into vent cleaning and all that kind of stuff. So there's certain things that we want to do, but staying in your lane is a good way to refer, is a good reason that you need to refer out people if you're going to be a solution to your client, right? I can't do my job without being able to refer out people. That can follow me to do the rebuild, to fix the electrical, to fix the plumbing, to fix whatever may be going wrong. Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like I have clients, they'll call me and they'll need, maybe they want to switch insurance or they want to add, work comp, or I have a client that we just helped them secure a referral to do 401k. We, have stuff with like legal stuff and creating contracts and buy-sell agreements and et cetera, et cetera. And that's totally not in my wheelhouse, but I got a person.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, how do you know you got a person that you, right? That's our show today. Let's all start from, we got a person, right? All right, great. I got a person.
Oh, but wait, before we start doing any of these stories and shares of what people have kind of approved us to do, we're changing names and changing situations. So
we're
if you're a listener and it's your story and you don't want people to know, then don't comment.
We're literally going to change. We're trying to keep it as anonymous as possible for most of these stories. Some of them may feel that they're okay to chime in. Go right ahead. But
Eric, or if they want a bearded IT guy. Yeah, I called Eric when I was at a client's job the other day because I ran into a problem, and I'm like, it would just be so much easier if you could just make a VPN for me versus, doing what I originally wanted to do. So I'm gonna get less money in the deal, but it'll be way of a less of a headache though too. So there's that trade-off.
Well, and that's it though. Is it okay? Are you okay with that? Because that little bit less money is so much less headache, right?
Right.
So much
I
less
feel like
time.
that give and take there.
You're okay. Right. Right.
Yeah.
Totally. And
now it's Eric's problem.
Right. Well, I love that because that's referring out at it's like if you have at the utmost level, you have somebody that does a service you can do. Right? A service you can do. And you're like, but you know what? They do it so much better, cleaner, faster, more efficient. You know what? I'm just going to refer that out to them because, and here's one
hey,
story.
Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Here's one story that I'm going to say the people that I'm talking about that and not make it an anonymous because, it's Clean Bee. Michelle Mentz, she chimes in all the time. Mm-hmm. They are a carpet cleaner, right? Carpet upholstery, right? Rugs, grout. They'll do hard surfaces. They'll do everything, and they're a cleaner, right? But they have the ability to do what we do. In a sense, right? They've done it before. In fact, before we started our company, they were doing restoration work, but they have the ability to do what we do. We have the ability to do what they do, but they're so much more efficient, better, much more higher quality and standard than we could produce because we just don't do it. We're not practiced. We're not that much involved in doing those kind of upholsteries and that studied and educated in that kind of
especially those
work.
Fancy rugs and fixing them and stuff.
Oh my gosh, right? Like he does they do such great work that we have no problem taking a job in and going, oh, all this furniture that we have,
Mary,
and rugs, we need it clean. Mm-hmm. Let's just send it to them because it's so easy to send it to them. They're going to do it. We know it's going to be right, and we're going to get it back, and it's going to be perfect, and we don't have to worry about anything, right? Like so. That's the utmost echelon of a referral partner that you can have, right? Maybe we'll slowly work down the ladder.
Well, so then I have a question. I have a question for you then.
Okay.
So you have yourself and 2 people also that go out and do marketing and sales.
3 people.
3 now?
3 now.
Okay.
We have 3 people. So there's 4 of us total
that
go out and do sales.
Like you handle whatever territories and chamber stuff, and then you have one person in like McHenry County, one in Lake County.
And then a commercial person.
Okay. Yep. So with you guys all being in multiple chambers and multiple networking groups, you have multiple people. Like you might have your favorite carpet cleaner, but then your other salesperson might have their favorite carpet cleaner. Totally. So then how do you handle that when people come back and say like, hey, so-and-so got the job. Why didn't I get the job? Do you just say, oh, well, that was, Mary's job. That wasn't like my, you know what I mean? Like
Mary always screwing things up.
Or like, well, because she's listening. So I feel like she'll defend.
You gotta call her out.
She'll defend. If Christine was on, I would pick Christine. But
well, listen, so in the beginning, I'll say this. Let me progress through how real quick. So in the beginning, when we only had like a salesperson or 2, or it was just myself or whatever, but I'm part of, then each person, you can break down into multiple networking avenues, right? Like I'm part of a chamber, a networking group, right? Like this and that, Rotary. So there's so many things that we can that I can give for a said situation. And so let's start right there. In the beginning, it was, oh, I know 3 or 4 plumbers from 3 or 4 different avenues, right? So in the beginning, it was, well, if this plumber sent me the job, I'm going to obviously refer that plumber. Or if they're in this group, I'm going to refer that, and they need a flooring person, that flooring person in that group would get the job, right? Keep it in the group that I was networking in, right? So that's still what we're trying to do. But as you get bigger and you start to see jobs from outside of all of your networking group and people are just randomly calling you, then you need to start to move to, okay, now we go into, as Mary said there, we rotate, puff, puff, pass, if you will, right? Ken's just shaking his head over there. Yep. So if you go ahead and make sure that all of the people that you really trust, and that's it, is you got to find the people you trust, right? How many people do you really trust to pass that job on to?
Right.
Like truly trust. And that's where, if you've built a big enough network, you may see an ability to call out your elite people, your A level, your B level, and your C level, right? And so you go, okay, well, this is kind of a C level job. This person wants the corners cut. They don't want things done right. They want it like, half-assed. So they're definitely going to get my C level plumber, right? Or whatever it may be. So like in my mind, that's kind of how I rank things. So that way I don't have to completely just keep on a full rotation and make everybody happy, because I'm not about making everybody happy. I want people to take care of me.
Well, because I feel like every networking group that's been, since I opened my business and I visited, they all have 1 or 2 insurance people. They all have 1 or 2 financial advisors. They all have realtors,
mortgage person.
Right. So then it's like you have those like people, but then when you get to know people and you do whatever and see them work, then I feel like sometimes it gets sticky because you want to rotate, but then some people are just
not great.
Right. So
you're dealing with like one thing, actually, we've had him on the show before. I don't think you were here for that show. It was when I had the group of guys. Mike Campbell was one of them. He's a mortgage guy, right? And one of his famous things that he says is, I want to know, like, and trust you. If I can know, like, and trust you, which is kind of a B&I thing, right, but he adopted it and he owns it. And I really like that saying, because I can know you. Great. You're C level, right? I can like you. All right. You're B level. But if I really trust you, then now you're just A echelon, because I know your work's good, your ethic's good, your efficiency's good, your quality's good, right? Everything meets the standards that I want. And so I have no problem just hey, this is just, I got a job. Here it is. It goes to you. If I don't want to think about something, it goes straight to my A echelon people, right? Yes. We have a
listener texted in and said, it sounds like it's more of a business relationship than a referral. Does the word referral have a bad vibe to it?
Not to me.
Oh, I mean,
define referral, I guess.
Well, I think so. I think those are 2 different things, actually.
Oh, okay.
I think there's a difference between a referral and a recommendation.
Okay.
Well, and so I agree, but I think
I feel like if I'm giving you a referral, that person's vetted and I'm vouching for them. If I give you a recommendation, it's somebody that I know does that work, but right, I personally have either never worked with them or don't know somebody that's worked with them, but I know they do that work.
Totally. But you said business relationship versus referral. Yeah. So a business relationship is, hey, I know Steph, I have a good relationship with her. I can easily say, if ever there's somebody that says something about a bookkeeper, I know I'm going to her, because you're that elite echelon, right? Now a referral though is but that's my relationship with Steph, right? A referral is an actual person that comes along and says, oh, I need a bookkeeper, and I go, here you go, I'm handing you over to Steph, right? So like it's different. My business relationship is with Steph is very good, and it's that A echelon, so I don't have to worry about anything. I can immediately just go here, go to Steph. But a referral is like that's our relationship. That's between me and her. The referral is the actual cog that goes between me to you.
Yeah,
right? Like
from the machine.
Yeah, from the machine. Yeah. When it spits out the machine, and you get the, I'm gonna send it over to you.
Okay.
So for all those listening, Steph gets the
Often, I'm sure often.
It's just so. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the business relationship, if I have a relationship with you and I've seen you conduct business, I'm more inclined to refer to you. I guess the referral is the actionable item,
right,
that you get.
Like the business relationship to me is the channel unto which, from me to you. The actual referral is the ball or the cog or the widget that's going down the channel.
I guess it's like no different than your different levels of friendship, though, too, outside of the business world. Like
Bingo.
You have your friends that you have your certain friends that are your like core group that you're going to go to with any and everything. And that's, you're in a safe, protected environment. And then you have other like
next level,
like different friends that you like see
B level,
once in a while, but you're not going to share your most secretive secrets with them, but you have fun and go out and stuff,
And then you got your C level that you're acquaintances with, right? And then you got everybody else, right? Like, so I think there's a certain level of, and that's on you and me to develop that relationship, right? If I see you as what's my best referral partner is a plumber. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go out and try and make friends and become top echelon, in their eyes, to me, top echelon as a referral partner, right? Because then I know that they're just going to send me everything, right? That's the idea, but it's very hard to do that and still maintain your sanity, your business, your family.
But I mean, like in the networking groups that I've been part of, I've tried to use the people in the group to test it out to see if their quality of service of what they provide to me is something that I would feel comfortable providing to my clients or my friends and family. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to start a little like house fire to get you in there to test out.
Do try.
Test it out.
She has murdered somebody.
I mean,
but like I can vet you in other ways. But if there's a service out there like insurance or something, like I could test it out with myself first and see the quality of service I receive, and then that would be the expectation going forward.
And that's actually a good point, though, is you don't necessarily have to go and test it out yourself. That's a great way to do it firsthand, but we have there's not just two of us in the studio, there's a third person here, and Kent had a wonderful experience with our services.
I did.
Yeah. So having
both of your services.
Well, and having a relationship, having a relationship with somebody that like and trust that says, hey, they did a great job, I really like them, right? Like that's a great way to relate to and say, okay, well, if somebody I know, like and trust had a great service or great experience with somebody else that I know, like, and I'm right on the cusp of trusting to go out and send all that business, well, then that kind of could push me over the edge, without actually using their services, right? That would suck if you had to use their services, but doesn't it, Ken?
It does.
It's not that bad if you have a studio that you can hang a banner.
That's correct.
Right?
There's always ways to work things out with people.
Right. I just want to point out
That's right there. Restoration.
Yep.
847-264-4664.
So, but that's kind of the thing where, to me, you don't have to necessarily use the service, but you got to do enough digging, ask enough people, know people that have used the service or some way to be able to vet it, right? And be able to walk through and say, oh, that is a service that I trust, right? And just get you over that trust level.
Right. So, but like, okay, so that's kind of the whole, you know, B2B and referring another business to either a client or referring another business to another business. But what about, for example, my older son, he's obviously in the workforce, you know, one of his friends needed a job. And so he's like, hey, mom, this is what they're currently doing, but they want to do this. Do you know anybody that's hiring? And I'm like, well, everybody's hiring. And then they're like, and they're like, well, they want to do this and this and whatever. And I'm like, well, Gab, I'm like, if I refer your friend to one of my work partners, then I'm, you know, co-signing that they're gonna come to the work and do like a reasonably good job.
Right, exactly.
You know, and so it's like so how do you feel about that? Or when you have to or you have a friend that's looking to break into a new industry, but someone.
I always feel like when you do something like that and you refer out a friend or a family member or, you know, your family member's friend, whatever it may be, to me, there's always hey, I got somebody that could work for you. It's a body, right? But I always give the asterisk of, here's who he is. I have no idea. Good luck. Right?
Right.
You and I's relationship is not bound by this guy, this girl, this human being, they, them, he, she, whatever it may be. I don't care. Whatever they are, I don't care. But what I'm saying is that being, that life form, is not tied to me and you. Right. So if I'm willing to which I have no problem, to me, that's making connections, right? Like, you can absolutely make a connection with somebody. We do it all the time in business, but we can do it through like, hey, this is an easy person that I have no idea who they are. It's just quick. You want a heartbeat? I got a heartbeat for you, right? Like, like if you totally give the asterisk to walk into the situation, there should be, you know, with no expectations, there should be no expectations. There should be no, you know, no, whatever you want to call it, animosity if something goes wrong.
Right.
Like, to me, that's kind of, I always want to give more information than not enough. Yep. Hey, here's my cousin's brother's son. He wants to work for you. Here you go.
Right. Yeah. It just, I don't know. Sometimes it makes me nervous, like referring like friends or people to go work for people that I know and that I have to see, because I don't want to talk about it with them after they go through the process of whatever their hiring process is. Should be able to weed them out if it doesn't fit the company's like core values.
Totally. And that's where, to me, my mindset when making the introduction is, hey, not somebody I know very well, don't know what they're about, don't know how they're going to work, don't know what's going on, just a heartbeat that can possibly work out for you.
Yeah.
You do you.
So I think we should share, because we're getting close to like the halfway point. It seems like time's flying today. That we should share some stories: the good, the bad, the indifferent.
All right, so let's start.
So if anybody out there listening has a story, a good story, bad story, whatever, of an experience of working with a referral partner or giving a referral, please do share. Or Kent could maybe share the link if you want to click in and call in and share your story versus typing, because it might be, you know, paragraphs long and nobody wants to read that. So
yeah, if you just
some people like to read.
If you copy then paste this little URL thingading into your URL thingading, you can come on. Now, if you don't want to be on camera, you don't have to. You can just choose not to use the camera, but use your microphone so we can hear you.
Totally, McGarley.
There we go.
Well, so let's start with the good, because like I said, I want to kind of work down the scale, right? We start with the good referral people. So what's a good referral story you have? Do you have one, Ken?
Yes, I do. I was moving and I had some mold in my attic. So I reached out to a guy that I know and just said, hey, you know, I know it's short notice. It's kind of a spur of the moment thing. I mean,
hey, FYI, all of
I know.
all of our jobs are spur of the moment things.
So I reached out to Restoration One.
You did.
And the owner, not the majority owner, but the other owner, came and crawled around in my attic for a little while.
I did.
And then
I'm not the majority owner.
Yeah. And said, "Yep, no, definitely got some mold there.
Yep.
Nothing to be alarmed. Doesn't seem like any life-threatening mold up there, but yeah,
Stachybotrys.
It's gonna. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put together a quick, kind of here's what it's going to cost you, and we can come out and get it done." And amazingly, it happened. It was a beautiful experience. They zip up the room that had the attic access like ET. You know how they had all those bubbles and zippers, and man, it was something. And the rest of our house was just sparkling. They did a great job. And came back a couple different times. I always, would shoot an email. Hey, we're going to be there in next 20 minutes or whatever. Text. Here's who's coming.
It usually comes via text.
Text. What did I say? Email?
Yeah, email.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking text. Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, it was a text.
Is top priority.
And since then, I've recommended them to a lot of the people who, that I've been dealing with too. In my other job. So that is one great referral experience that I had.
Do you feel like it was easier to describe the service that they provide after using them?
Yeah,
or do you feel like
absolutely. I mean, yeah, because I know nothing about what they do. Yeah, they come in.
We clean up poop and blood and mold.
But I can tell them, like, listen, here's and they did it in the cold of winter, which isn't the best time to be fighting mold in the attic, I guess. Right.
First off, the stuff we use at the very end of the process that gets rid of all the discoloration on the sheathing in your attic, the wood sheathing, plywood in your attic. On the server, that stuff works in a certain temperature range.
Yeah.
So in the wintertime, we use heaters and we have to heat up their attic, which if you think about your house and your attic, all of the insulation is on the floor, which insulates all the heat from the rest of your house down. And so the attic's freezing cold. So
I've never gone in an attic ever.
Ever?
Nope.
You should.
No, I'm afraid I'm going to get attacked by a raccoon or something.
That's a weird attic.
Highly unlikely.
Nope. Like even if I have to remove one of these, nope.
Thank you.
If I have to remove one of these tiles or something, nope, that ain't
That's
happening.
That's not an attic.
Yeah, but I'm just saying I won't even do that.
The raccoon sitting up there.
Unlikely.
Right?
Anyway, so
yeah, so it wasn't an easy job. Because you had to heat it up we have to heat it up the attic. We have to keep it hot while we're doing the process. The guys can't freeze while they're doing it, but then at the very end, the material has to actually be warm enough that when we apply the stain remover, that it actually does what it's supposed to do at the right temperature. So there's a lot that goes into it, and then protecting, like he said, with the whole ET setup, we have to protect the rest of the house from what we're doing. Yeah. And so that's a huge thing with setting up all of the containment, which is the plastic and the big and we had if I hadn't had the experience, I would they get rid of mold, but I was able to say, well, because of that, they had cords running to different outlets for different breakers to make sure that we didn't pop or blow anything in the middle of the night. I mean, so the experience of working with them has helped me be able to help people understand better, to go, so what I've learned through that is I need to kind of walk through it's with somebody who's in a referral group, let's say, or whatnot. I got to see what they do. Where no. Hey, I got a guy, Jeff. He does the insurance. You just call him.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah. Well, what makes him great? I know him. Play golf with him.
He can write insurance.
Yeah, he writes insurance.
Yep.
But since I've been through it, so even if I don't need them, I think it is huge to go, let me see what you do.
We got the majority owner chiming in. Hey, Carrie.
It's the real head turner.
Head turner. Most people don't understand that as a restoration company, we need to know all trades. And when I say all trades, you think of a house being built, there are multiple trades, multiple professions that go into building a house. There's plumbers, electricians, general contractors, whatever you want to call, if you want to call them general contractors. Well, I guess carpenters, general contractor runs it, right? Then you have HVAC, you have all finished carpentry, right? You have all these trades that go into that. As a restoration company, we need to know all the trades. You just pointed out right there. We need to know the electricity load that our equipment runs. So that way, when we put a heater upstairs that runs off of, needs 4 circuits to run, right? And we can't just go and plug, all of the 4 plugs into 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom outlets, because there's 2 plugs in each outlet. So I got 4 plugs. Let me just plug them all in right there. No, we can't do that. We're going to blow a circuit. We're going to overload the system. So we have to know electricity. We have to know plumbing. How does this system work? So that way we can go and diagnose it, right? And be able to figure it out. That to me is one of the great ways that most people don't know. Bookkeeping. I don't know about bookkeeping. How do I describe to you? But now I know that you are a QuickBooks pro. Right? Like, what are the other things that I could tell people? Oh, she could literally dial in and say, yep, hey, you're doing this, go to this, go to that. I listened to her today tell her employee, like walk through a problem where your employee had something wrong and you're like, oh no, just try this. Okay, try that. Here we go. And she goes, and Melanie was like, yay! I mean, it was like, it was such a great thing that I can now say and explain that to people and give examples of how awesome, my referral partners are.
Yeah. What does Jeff say?
Jeff says, for me, it's about the reflection that person makes on me. I'm only as good as my professionals I refer. I think your referral partners build tremendous credibility for you with your clients.
That's a good point.
And that's, I know a guy, right? Like, that's the tool in your tool belt, right? my wife said, I know a guy or a gal. So like, that's the tool in your tool belt. The more tools you can have specifically, related to your profession or directly, in relation to your profession, the more you have, the better you are as a human being. You can refer out, all these people as a business person and go, yep, I got that. We can handle that.
So what's a good referral experience that you've had that you would reflect back on, either like one you've given or one you've received?
Well, I gave it earlier. I mean, we give out Clean Bee 24/7. I mean, we call them for every single job that we get that's a fire, and there's upholstery everywhere, and we go, nope, we can. I'll say this, that I'll add on to what I said. We give them out as a referral, but to further that, we don't just give them out. We literally just say, yes, we have this, we can handle this job. And then we call them and say, hey, come to here, pick up the stuff, or we're dropping it off at your place. We're going to bring it to you. Right. And we just say that we're doing it, and they go, great, done, boom. And they handle it. We don't even need to say, hey, we have a job. What's the price? What's this? What's that? Right. We don't even have to walk through. So once we've developed this relationship with them, now we can literally say, nope, boom, go. Right. We have other people too that are out there that we can say, hey, we need you as a carpet cleaner. Come on in and just suck water out of the carpet, because you got a truck mount and that's what you're built to do. Right. And you can go and do that. And then we can set up our equipment and we can dry everything out. But we know you're efficient at doing that. Go do that for us. And we appreciate that. Right. Yeah. There's different situations that we've set up, but for the most part, everybody we refer out, we really like, because on a go basis, because we're emergency based.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I guess for me, I kind of playing off of Jeff's comment, that I like the comments that I get back from friends, family, or clients, that when I refer them somebody and then they give me the feedback, like they'll always give me the detailed feedback on what they liked, what they didn't like. And to me, that helps me kind of hone in and be able to identify some things, because who would work with me personality wise might not work with somebody else personality wise. But I mean, as an example, I helped my aunt sell her house semi recently, And I know an insane amount of realtors since I opened up my business. I didn't really realize how that works. But I brought out like 3 or 4 realtors for my aunt to interview.
Yep.
They all knew that they were competing against other realtors. I didn't really like give names, but I just told them that you're competing against other realtors. And I didn't sway my aunt in either way, but she ultimately picked one of the people that I brought out there, and she had a really amazing experience with them. So that worked out good.
Which, to be honest, she could have had an amazing experience with any of them.
Right.
Like it didn't matter who it was.
But it was just good that I had like
it was a
pool of people for her to pick from and make her own decision, because what she's looking for and what she's looking to get out of her house is probably different than what I was looking to do with my house, and et cetera, et cetera.
And that's the thing, is you're not creating what you have right there. Is you have a network of people where it's not a needle in a haystack to find a good person. It's a straw of hay in a bunch of needles, right? And you can just pull the needle you want.
Right.
Because you have enough great referral partners. Who cares about that one straw that's sitting there in the pile of needles?
Right.
That was such a great like.
You're so proud of yourself.
I was like, I just came up with that one.
Did we give Jess a read at the beginning?
We did.
Okay.
We did.
Yeah, I mean, we can bring it back in.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's bring it back in.
That's fine. Of course, right there, we've got Epic Media. And whether you need a custom website designed or help integrating social media accounts to your business marketing program, Epic Media is the company you want to rely on for your business. Check them out at www.epicmediainc.com. Why? Because when you are truly authentic, there can be no competitors.
So I feel like we could sit and gush about our excellent partners and referral partners and people that we've developed relationships with. But then what happens when you like come across a situation where you're semi-unprepared? Like, for example, I had another business owner say that there was another person that wanted to meet me to talk about potential business and a working relationship, because they had clients that were maybe going to look for bookkeepers, and their particular service that they were offering being in finance, sometimes I would be needed to step in and help them maybe close off a deal.
Okay.
So this was like a referral from somebody that was not only another business owner, but somebody that I thought was my friend. So I went and met with this person, and apparently like business was not what was on their mind. It was
what was on their mind?
I got not bookkeeping business, different monkey business. And so
swinger event?
I don't know. So they apparently, after I left the meeting with them, they called our mutual friend and they just told her all this stuff that had nothing to do with our conversation. It was more weird, like sexual things that they.
I don't know how you get into these
I'm
situations.
like,
yeah, right.
Like,
maybe you're referring incorrectly.
Yeah. Maybe you're putting out the wrong message.
I didn't do the referral. It was.
You're just sending out the wrong vibe. So we're sliding down the slide of referrals quality.
So then what happens now? My question is though, okay, so that was my experience. Right? What happens now? Like now I feel like my relationship with this person on a friendship level is tainted because you knew this person was a scumbag.
Like, wait,
and
taint like.
Yeah, not that kind of taint, a different taint. So now it's tarnished. And
thank you.
And so like, how, as my friend, do you refer to go talk to someone like that when you know this person doesn't respect women in business and that they primarily work better with men in business? So I think that was like a bad play.
For me, if right away I stop referring the person. Period. Like if this is the outlook you have on me, boom. But then on the hindsight and in the back burner, if they are willing, are like, hey, WTF, what's going on? I will absolutely walk up and have a conversation and go, this is what's the issue, right? But immediately I'm not dealing with anything that is uncomfortable or against what I believe in. And I have a pretty wide open belief value.
Right. Hi, Mom.
My range is pretty wide on what I'm open to.
Go say hi to my mom.
Oh, hi, Linda.
She was out for lunch.
Welcome back, Linda.
Sorry, mister.
So, yeah, go ahead.
I referred a business that does business to business, and at the end of that transaction, the people who I gave the referral to, I'm like, not the business I referred, but the customer,
right?
Because why do you even know this person, and why would you ever? This is the worst, and went on and on.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh, right. So then I call the business owner, and be like, hey, what happened, man? Well, of course, nothing wrong on their end. It was a tough customer, blah, 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 and I'm like,
okay.
I
dealt with the customer too. Was it
right?
Well, and that's my question to you was it your customer?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So you had the customer. They
mm-hmm.
were great for you.
They owned a business. Yeah.
Did not work well with this
Correct.
referral partner. Was said referral partner, have you referred to them in multiple times, or was that the only time?
That was probably the second or third time.
And was the first or second time well?
Nothing, like it wasn't
no red flags
and no green flags. Like, okay, thanks, they did the job, right? So it wasn't like, whoa, that was awesome, greatest experience. So there weren't any glowing. Okay, so if we were to do reviews, Eric likes to talk about reviews. If we were to talk about reviews, the first ones probably would have been a 2.5 out of 5 or something. Just average, or whatever.
Nothing to write home
and
about.
Then it wouldn't have got a star on the last one.
So my question now is for really both of you would be, if you get somebody that's median of the road, or you start to hear bad things about them, they're median or below, right? And you hear actual negative things. Is that it? Do you immediately, because most people, I mean, in my profession, I'm going to have multiple trades, multiple people to refer to. If I start to network and I'm actually following my networking and I'm doing what I'm doing marketing wise, I'm going to have multiple people to refer to. So do you obviously peg them down on the list, but like, is that somebody that you are looking or watching closely, or what's your protocol then for that if you hear something go bad?
Oh, you're dead to me.
Dead to you.
You're dead. Yeah. Once you get that back, you're like, if it was a one-off, you're like, maybe they had a bad day, whatever. But then when a business owner is trying to say that the other, then take responsibility or whatever.
In that situation, it was.
I'm like,
for
no,
sure.
I don't have time for that. And and when confronted, hey, I haven't seen a referral or whatever. Yep, no, I'm done giving you referrals.
You're just honest about
upfront and honest. Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I am.
Like
yeah.
You see him, you go, hey, listen, you
didn't work out.
You effed it up 3-4 times.
Didn't work out.
Maybe once, twice. Shame. Fool me once, fool me twice.
It would have to. It would depend on what happened. Like, it would all depend. Like, if it's something like kind of good, kind of bad, like whatever, right? Then I could maybe work through it or just keep it in the back of my mind. But certain things, like, no, like I probably would never refer them again. Like certain things that would come up, I would never.
Okay, so
it wouldn't happen.
This happened to me, to us, to Restoration One. And this is kind of
names.
No, well, I mean, this happened to somebody I know who was close, but so let's say that you have a company that has multiple players in it, right? And one of said players goes rogue. Okay. Right? How do you approach the other people in the group and say in that company and say, hey, this stuff's going wrong. We're not really comfortable referring the company as a whole because there's one bad fish in the tank, right? Like, how do you approach that?
It makes me nervous because then that means they have their house isn't in order. It makes me nervous because I've been at networking functions before where people stand up and you give your 60 seconds and say, like, hey, I do blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then I've watched like a employee of the company stand up and take their 60 seconds to beyond bash the owners of the company in front of all of these people that are business owners, and they are known referral partners of the owners. So like, I feel like that's
to me, yeah, but that's
crazy.
owner employee, and that's a
But
reflection.
that's somebody that's representing your company. So if that's what they're saying to us as business owners that want us to refer the company, what are they saying to your clients on job when that's your front line?
Right.
Like,
well,
I would not be comfortable with that going on in my business. So it would make me hesitant for the structure of that business to refer out, because they clearly are messy.
Those are clearly the bad things that we don't want to refer. But to me, that's where, like, what say an owner is bad, but the employees are great, right? Like, I want to dive into the actual like makeup of the company and say, what if there's multiple facets of the company, and the parts that need to work great, but the parts that you don't really deal with, maybe it is the owner that sucks, and or one of the owners that suck, but the rest of the owners and the rest of the company is great, right? Like, how do you deal with something like that?
It makes it difficult, because then you don't want your job, you don't want that other owner being involved on those jobs. And then how does the other owner tell the owner, like owner
Do you
A,
get involved?
how
in
does
that?
owner A tell owner B, like, so-and-so company doesn't want you ever on their job because they had a bad experience with you, and then expect there not to be some weird bitterness internally,
right? Like,
right.
are you literally walking into said company and stirring the pot?
So I kind of do this. Like, listen, Carrie, I want to.
Are you talking to my wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to refer you, but Joe is just a freaking slob. And he listen, I would the last house he was at, I mean, he set up the zipper door, and then he sat in there and ate Fritos for half the day. And when the homeowner,
which is very well what I could do.
Yeah, when the homeowner's like, hey, what are you doing in there? He's like, I'm eating Fritos. I know what I'm doing.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I'd love to, have you guys do it, but can you make sure that Joe doesn't go out, because I don't really like him.
I'm the problem.
Yeah, you're the problem.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
So how do you do you literally approach it that way with said other owners, right? If owner A is the problem, but owner B and C are cool, do you go to owner B and C and say?
Fortunately, I've never been put in that position, right? Fortunately. So I don't know how to answer that, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and that's to me is, how do you approach that? Do you develop, but what if your relationships with owner A, right? Or your relationships with owner B, and you're like, hey, I don't like owner A, and I really like owner B, and I like owner C, right? Like, there's so much involved in referring people out once you get down to things that go wrong.
Right. Well, what happens if there's so if it's not business related, what happens if it's personally related? Because I feel like that's kind of come up in conversations where we know people or have known people that have situations that are either morally or ethically not on our list of approvals, and they're doing these things personally. Do you allow that to, but they're really good at what they do business wise, do you allow that to affect your judgment on who or if you will refer that person? Or personal is personal and business is business?
What if Rich decides to pull out of Steph's books?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Like pull out?
Right.
Oh.
Okay. And then he's like, you know what?
Time out. Wasn't that a joke earlier?
It was.
Because I wasn't here.
Yeah, I got away with it because Sally was my partner.
Okay, I just want to make sure that hang on. Can I get it twice?
Yeah. So Rich pulls out of Steph's books,
mm-hmm.
and then he creates Rich's books. And I like Rich. I think it's great. Who do you refer at that point?
Right. Well, and that's
Oh gosh, that's a yeah.
yeah.
Think about
Well, that to me is who do you have the relationship with? Do you have them with both?
Yeah.
Can you go through a rotation of both?
I like them both. Yeah,
Which
right.
if you like them both, and then you go back and forth. You go one to the other, one to A, one to B. Some for me, some for my homies. Some for me, some for my homies. Right? Like you got to go back and forth.
All right. So then Steph goes, listen, Rich just pulled out. And you keep giving him business. It's costing me money. Why? Now what do you do?
Well, Steph, I really like Rich as well. So I'm going to keep referring him but I go back and forth every other.
I think I would also look
Yeah,
into
but-
like which
yeah, but you
owner's
keep-
giving is reciprocating though.
Right.
Totally.
Like-
Oh, totally.
Yeah, that's
Like,
great.
If
you
Rich
keep
is giving me business, I'm not going to cut him off because
Right.
he's, like, because you guys got divorced. I'm going to keep
Yeah.
He didn't
him.
get divorced. He just pulled
yeah,
out.
he just pulled out. Right. Right. I didn't they're still happily married. He's just like,
Like-
I'm gonna do Rich's
Well,
book.
I didn't know what happened. I just heard what I heard. But like, so I would continue both, and I would make sure that both are understanding of what my thing is. But if one starts to pull ahead in the referral factor and they're sending me more business, if we look at it as a professional aspect,
Mom, boy, the hair stood up. Mom's like, hey, Steph's got the degree.
if we look at it from the professional aspect, right, then I'm going to keep referring the people that are taking care of my clients.
And then,
right?
yeah, and Steph's like, Joe, I appreciate it, but you keep giving him the bigger accounts.
Which
It just happens to fall every other time, Steph. Sorry.
How does
Nothing I
Steph
can
know
do.
this?
I mean, they're still married. They talk.
Well,
I
then
could
that's-
see.
that- well, then
I
that's
could
bullshit.
see the money he's putting into his account.
Well, that's bullshit. Rich
I mean-
needs to stick to pools, and this is a totally make-believe situation.
Okay, well,
And
so
Mustang engines.
what about?
He needs to stick to blowing out engines.
So what about this example? My great grandfather did drapery.
Yeah.
Okay. So he had
Carpet of the drapes.
the drapes. So he did custom
Thank you, Kat.
custom drapery. Okay. And so he had a
Really?
shop like closer to like a nicer, like
Go
whatever part of on like we'll just say Michigan Avenue because I don't know where it
okay.
is. My mom will probably correct me soon.
Okay.
So we'll say he had a shop there, but then 2 blocks over, he owned another shop that was a little bit more economically priced. So he would refer himself to
Himself?
yeah.
Brilliant. But I mean, so Luna is owned by Empire.
Ah,
Really?
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
That makes sense.
So they bid each other out to get the best rate. It's funny. Yeah.
Which to me, it makes sense.
It's a
If you
brilliant
go-
business
but-
strategy, by the
But
way.
what, to be honest, though,
Brilliant.
they own their lane.
Yeah.
Right. Let's circle back to the beginning of the conversation. Owning your lane. Right. I want to own my lane. I'm not trying. So I need referral partners.
Yeah.
If I'm going to own my lane as Luna and Empire, I'm going to own flooring. Right. And so because of that, if something happens, I'm going to want a restoration company to come in because somebody calls me and goes, hey, my carpet's wet. Can you come and replace it?
Right.
Nope, but I do drapes.
Yeah. I'll do custom drapes.
I can match the drapes to the carpet. if you
Yeah, you can.
So what happens then if the relationship goes south? Okay, so the referral,
All of a sudden,
the
like you
referral.
had a great relationship. and
well,
all
no,
of a sudden
okay, well,
it
yeah.
tanked.
So it's like done,
Yep.
and then clearly everybody's still in these networking groups together. Then what happens? Because there's been situations. I think Kent was also in a similar group that I was in at the time, where you have great relationships, and then just something goes awry that has nothing to do with business. It's just politics of the group. And then all of a sudden now you're out like 2 or 3 referral partners because of it.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, that is a prime example.
yeah.
That was so bad.
But But so I'm just saying, like, you know, or you have somebody that can deliver on like a product, but their personal reputation is just so unfavorable. So then it's like, I feel like you hit a crossroads in that referral relationship then.
So if that were to happen,
Eric's wow.
He's so
Oh
glad
my
he's
God.
tuned in for this
oh
one.
my God, that was hilarious.
Do you have
So-
any examples, Eric?
So if that if that were to happen, like,
But then you guys see each other out at events still, and you got to keep it cordial.
Totally fair. Do you? But so,
yeah,
I don't.
Oh,
So
my goodness.
if that were to happen though, and you were to go to an event or you were to go anywhere and see this person, do
Mhm.
you have to go up and walk up to them and say hi? Or
Well, no,
can
I
you
could stay on
avoid-
my side of the room and
Totally,
whatever.
totally.
But
So-
if we cross paths, like you just say hello.
Right, whatever it
You'd
may
be an adult.
Yes, you could be an adult and you could
It's
totally
not like I'm
do
gonna
what you
like
need to do.
fling boogers at him across the room.
You could though.
You
Eli.
know?
Eli, go get it.
Yeah, you could send your kid in. To
Go sneeze on him.
Yeah,
You know, like just because they do that, I don't want to do that. You know what I mean?
But
like,
so if this were to happen and you were to I really want to
Well,
bring it back to
but hold
to
on.
professionalism.
But the thing is, you don't throw shade on. You know what I mean? You don't throw shade on people. That's not who you are. How you operate, and that's not right.
Debatable.
So
I'm kidding.
So that's the whole thing. So when you're there, it's not like you've talked bad about this person or whatever. That business relationship is done.
right.
And
Over-
if the only relationship I had with you is through that group, and I never did business, you never gave me business, there was really never a business relationship there anyway, right?
Right.
Totally.
So it's like I'll be nice, I'll say hey or whatever, but it's not like we're gonna go, hey, how are the kids? How's the dog? How's how's Rich's butt that he's been smoking? You know, hey, he likes to smoke meat.
Roast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rump roast. Yes, I got it. So if said relationship were to tank fast, right? Something were to happen. Let's focus on losing the referral partners, right? Like one relationship goes bad, so now you just lost 2 to 3 other great relationships, right? How do you now, because you lost that relationship and that group or whatever, now you have free time.
Yeah.
Can
Well, I
you
just
make
think
that
it's like
up?
a weird high
Or-
school like fear thing when you have like the Regina George of a situation, okay? And then the other people are fearful to continue that relationship that you had thought you had built with them because you're gonna what?
Regina George is such a great reference.
So I feel like then it like creates like this a weird like high school vibe sometimes in some of these like networking and business functions and stuff, and it's like so
Have any of us
weird.
ever grown out of high school? Like, I don't care until even our families are
It
still
actually
like
gets
high
worse
school.
when you become an adult.
Well, it's like our families are like high school because we talk about our families that way and who's doing what in the family. And like, so it doesn't matter if you're in a networking group or whatever. And that's actually a good segue to one of our future shows on gossiping.
well, because next week we have abusive referral partners and clients.
We'll dive into the bottom of the slide on that
Ooh.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, so
When you
that's-
land in the sand at the bottom of the slide, that's what we're digging into.
Yeah, like how do you deal with when you have somebody that you've either referred has been like you were kind of like alluding to
Mhm.
that they were like maybe abusive or not, conducting themselves accordingly with one of your clients,
Yeah.
or how do you deal with when one of your clients yells at you or your team? So next week we're gonna kind of dive into that. We're gonna
Carrie says she needs to be on the gossip show.
that gossip show will be in a couple weeks, and we're gonna talk about that and how that works.
Shouldn't, because FYI, I call her entire family Operation Leaky Bucket because anything you pour in just gets leaked right out. So she will totally slip an anonymous whatever for gossiping and tell something bad. So no, she needs to just type so that way she can type it, read it, and then erase the things and rewrite them 4 times before she goes, okay, this is good to air. Yeah.
So we're gonna do that. And then what did
We'll
Eric
have
say?
fun. Yeah. You
Oh.
took us off.
Yeah, no, Eric just said this whole conversation is a prime example of the power of a bad partner can have, referral partner can have.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. We are perfect. Carrie says she knows things I'll never know, but I also know things she'll never know. So we're kind of yin and yang on that.
But that's a fallacy because your wife pretty much knows
head turner
everything.
Yeah, head turner.
Husbands don't have secrets.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. I'll appreciate that. All right.
Well, thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend. This went fast.
That one flew by. Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
That's it. For all of us here at 216 The Net, be good, but more importantly, be good to each other. This has been In the Know with Steph and Joe.
Our fight on this later care will happen.
I love you, Carrie.
It will be naked.
Just the name.